A new claim suggests that the next Xbox console will launch in 2026. This is Mike
Whoa.
Straw at Insider Gaming. A new claim from a Call of Duty data miner suggests that the next Xbox console could launch as soon as 2026. The console would also feature that year's Call of Duty as a launch title. Quote, hearing from trusted sources that the next Xbox is planned to be released in late 2026, the Ghost of Hope wrote. Very likely that COD 2026 is a day one release for it, end quote. Call of Duty 2026 is being developed by Infinity Ward. It's also worth noting that Ghost of Hope has sources within Activision, which could be where his information is coming from. Microsoft has gone on record multiple times in saying that a next-generation Xbox console would be coming. In an episode of the official Xbox podcast in February, Xbox president Sarah Bond said that the company was excited about what's coming with future Xbox hardware. Quote, we're also invested in the next-generation roadmap, she said. Quote, what we're really focused on there is delivering the largest technical leap you will have ever seen in a hardware generation, which makes it better for players and better for creators and the visions that they're building, end quote. In April, according to an internal email, she reiterated the company was moving full speed ahead on the next system. As far as the timeline for a next-gen console goes, it was discovered as part of the case investigation Microsoft's purchase of Activision that the belief was that next-gen consoles from both Microsoft and Sony wouldn't be coming until 2028. The document sourced in the case was from 2022. Roger,
Weird.
this is a big grain of salt one.
Yeah,
'Cause
absolutely.
I think I'm going to start this off by saying I don't believe it.
Yeah, no, me neither.
But I think the idea is fascinating. I'll start with you though. Like, what's your immediate knee-jerk reaction to this?
What is it? Right? Like, my immediate knee-jerk reaction is, we're not doing a Pro, right? I mean, like, that's kind of been the kind of air of speculation around Xbox is like, PlayStation's doing a Pro, Xbox maybe.
This is speculation station.
Sorry,
we've
my
arrived.
bad. Yeah, we're speculating. Yeah, like that's the weirdness of it. Where it's like I think they're probably not doing a Pro, but maybe this is a Pro. If it's 2026, you wouldn't expect this to be the next generation unless they're like they have something really special for that next generation, and then they're like, we're just waving the white flag. We got all these Xbox Series X's we can't sell. Let's just fucking push past this.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird.
I think this is very interesting. So you talk about the Pro, and I think that's actually where I want to start. Where on the PlayStation side, it is speculated that there's going to be a Pro console. The most we've heard that's concrete on the Microsoft side of things is from the Microsoft Court stuff, where they talk about the cylindrical console,
Yes.
and that technically isn't a Pro console. Yeah. That is more specifically an all-digital 2 terabyte Xbox Series X that I believe uses less energy than the current model.
Yeah.
But the way that it's going to be pushed, right, isn't necessarily going to be as this is a pro way to play, which I think could maybe add some credence to the idea of getting an Xbox next generation console earlier. If we're doing the math on when we think we'll get a next gen console regularly, I would think 2027, 2028,
which is so wild. We're so close to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we're in striking distance.
We're like right now we're smack dab in the middle of the console generation,
Yeah.
if not maybe a little bit past it, because the new consoles came out in 2020. I think general cadence is about 7 years between consoles. We got the PS4 and Xbox One in 2013, Xbox Series X and PS5 in 2020. I think that it could be a very interesting, if not even a very smart move for Xbox to get ahead of it. You know, we talk about Xbox being quote unquote in third place. We talk about the quote Phil Spencer had on XCast when he did the interview talking about how we've already lost the race. We lost the most important generation. People are already bought into their console ecosystems.
Yeah.
It is a uphill battle to get people to make the switch to Xbox. I think if you are Microsoft, Xbox, and you're trying to make the move of getting more people involved or getting more people into your console ecosystem, trying to launch a year or 2 years ahead of the next PlayStation console and going, hey, we got next gen out first, and then also here's a Call of Duty that is taking all of the next gen upgrades, right? You have Call of Duty in your palm, right? You own Call of Duty now. You can go, hey, here is what is the best
bundle,
looking.
yeah.
You can do the bundle. You can like advertise that as the best looking, the best running way to play.
But like
Call of Duty.
I am very much of the mindset right now that Xbox cannot win this by saying, "Oh, we got the best graphics." That's never going to be the way that they win this ever. Like it's the video games look so good to this point where it's like Xbox, PlayStation doesn't really matter, right? It's about the ecosystem, right? To get people to go from, hey, I have all my games on PlayStation. let me just start up fresh on Xbox. Of course, they have Game Pass and all that jazz, but still, like, all my trophies are here, all my save data is over here. Like, there needs to be something special there. And unless they got something crazy, unless they have the Windows, combination Xbox where you can play PC games and you can do this and you can do that, I don't see why getting ahead of it helps them at all.
This episode's brought to you by BetterHelp. We all carry around different stressors, big and small. I'm currently planning a wedding, so I know all about that. But when we keep them bottled up, it can start to affect us negatively. Therapy helps you find your strengths so you can ditch the extreme resolutions and make changes that really stick. You can get out of your negative thought cycles and find some mental and emotional peace, and it can give you the tools to find more balance in your life so you can keep supporting others without leaving yourself behind. Some of my best friends use BetterHelp and love how helpful it can be for learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. It empowers you to be the best version of yourself, and it isn't just for those who've experienced major trauma. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Celebrate the progress you've already made. Visit betterhelp.com/kindafunny today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/kindafunny.
If anything, it just makes at least, of course, they would be separate from PlayStation, so they don't have to compete with PS6, which is going to dominate the conversation. But if anything, it's just going to be like, oh, they're doing another series, whatever.
I mean,
who cares?
I think there's something as far as like the shiny nature of a new thing. Oh man, the first next gen thing is here. You can advertise it with, they won't call it DLSS, but whatever their AI upsampling solution is, advertise it with that. It's gonna be hard to like display how good it looks when you're right that we've gotten so far in like the console generations where things just look great across the board that I don't know if showing off how good a next gen Call of Duty looks like right now is going to hit as hard as like hey, but here's all these, shiny new features or whatever it is, right? I think you need more than just pure graphics to win people over.
Yeah.
But maybe getting out there first and advertising it as this, hey, no, like this is a step into the future. This is what you need. This is what we're putting out there. I think could give them those steps. But yeah, I'm with you that I don't think that wins them a console generation necessarily or gets them not everybody. I don't think there's any universe where the bulk of people jump over and go, oh, I'm an Xbox person now. Like I'm not playing on my PC or my PlayStation or whatever else it is. But I do think it's interesting.
I could see potentially another Series S, like another version of a lighter, cheaper Xbox console that would launch in 2026 to kind of give people of like, hey, here's an easy way to get into the ecosystem of Xbox, right? Because I'm pulling from a GameSpot article that is also pulling from an IGN interview with Destin Legary, where Phil Spencer says that I don't think we're at the, talking about the Series X, he says that they're at the end of the beginning of the life cycle of the Series X, right? Like, and this is in 2023. This was during Gamescom. So like, if he's saying this a year ago that, hey, we're just getting started with the Series X, I think it would be kind of wild for like be like, oh no, by the way, that I was completely lying. Of course, we've been seeing the them saying things and then taking it back within a year, right? In the last few weeks, but I don't think that this is the end of this generation. I think whatever that next console is, if this is an actual trusted report, is going to be something iterative or a Series S or something smaller.
Yeah, I also think that if we're taking what we have looked at as Xbox's strategy for however long. Yeah. Hey, let's go hard on Game Pass. Let's go hard on cloud. Let's go hard on the ecosystem. No matter where you're playing Xbox, you are still playing Xbox, whether it's on a PC screen or I should say a monitor screen, whether it's on your TV via cloud, whatever, on your phone, you're still playing Xbox. I could see that changing the way that Xbox looks at console generations. One, I do think that when they make the quote, I think it was Sarah Bond talking about, we're really focused on delivering the largest technical leap you'll ever seen in a hardware generation. I think that's being worked on. I think they are working on a big leap of a console. I don't know if that's the 2026 thing, but I think that the focus off of, hey, the hardware business is our business, right? I think the idea of, hey, it's the ecosystem business that we're in allows them to be way more flexible with the idea of, yeah, we can come in at 2026 and maybe they are going to launch what you're talking about, a new version of the Series S, or maybe it is, here's the Xbox dongle and it is a full cloud thing. And that is, we're looking at that as a new big hardware launch. Or again, I think it's within the realm of possibility that they launch a 2026 thing and it is a full-fledged big technical leap of a console. I like 2026 and 2027. This is what 1 year
Yeah,
as
yeah.
far as like
you're
what
not
we're talking
wrong.
about in
I think I
timeline.
just, for me at least, I take that as like, of course I see the reaction, right? Like I see the reaction of like, they're fucking abandoning us already. You know what I mean? Like PlayStation, there's no PS6. Like we're already done with this. I just bought this fucking console. Like I see that, and that won't stop them necessarily. But I see the PR nightmare quote unquote
Yeah.
of like just cutting this console
I
and
think
just
that,
being like,
I
we're
think
doing
it
something
feels,
else here.
It feels that way right now.
Yeah.
I think when we're in 2026 and we're already having the conversation of, oh
GTA
yeah,
6 doesn't run well. Ah, shit.
I mean maybe that. Well, I'm
Yeah.
more so thinking of, oh yeah, next gen's coming next year.
Yeah.
And Xbox is like, well, what if it's coming this year, right? Like, I don't think
Yeah,
that
that's
1
true.
year difference, it might feel soon, but I think by the time we get there, I think we might already be feeling ready. You know,
Yeah.
I think we might already be in a place of, if you're able to make the argument of, hey, this is how good, maybe I think it would have to be more than Call of Duty. But here's what Call of Duty looks like, and also here's Perfect Dark, and here's the next Gears game, and here's what we're using next gen to do to push this stuff forward. I think you can make a really good argument as Xbox to get people to go, oh man, yeah, this next gen thing seems kind of nice,
Yeah.
and just move it like a little bit earlier.
Yeah, I think you're winning me over a little bit because I'm remembering the 360 PS3 era, right? How Xbox got ahead of them and were able to kind of build up a great repertoire of video games when PlayStation was kind of fumbling in the very beginning, right? I think PlayStation is in this place where hopefully by the time there's a PS6, they have games ready. You know, they're going to come out with the big guns, but even then, like having Xbox a year in, right, of their potential next generation console, when the PS6 is being announced, being like, hey, we got all these fucking games.
Yeah.
Like you can just buy this right now, and guess what? It's 10% off, 15% off, or whatever it is, because it's already gonna be a year in the console cycle, right? You're gonna get those bundled deals or whatever it is. So there's something there, but I just don't buy it necessarily.
Yeah, that's the thing. I take this with the biggest grain of salt. I think it's fascinating from a strategy conversation, but this is one of those ones where it's a report based on another report that's like
Based
an
on a Call of Duty
Activision-
leaker.
Yeah, like an Activision / Call of Duty insider, and they're pulling from like I think like data, like scrubbing through data. Like I don't know if I believe just the report itself, but the idea of it.
Yeah, it's a fun conversation.
I'm into it.